Can I get every lightning lane here in Epcot? Remy's sold out. I don't have one. Test Track was gone before the park opened. Figment, if you're listening, could use your help right now. This is my 4th of 4 challenges for Genie Plus in the parks, and I've been walloped by Winnie the Pooh, smashed by the alien swirling saucers, drowned by Cali River Rapids, and now a clear nemesis has emerged quickly. Remy, that rat. Anyway, as you can see, it's a very busy day here at Epcot. We're headed to our first lightning lane, all the way to the Kingdom of Arendelle. While we head there, it's time for Genie 101. Disney Genie and Genie Plus is the system that replaced FastPass Plus about 6 months ago at this point. There are 3 different versions of Disney Genie. The first, Disney Genie, is a free version of the app. It allows you to make customized itineraries, access to the tip board, the dining tip board, predictive wait times, and that's just an enhanced feature of the My Disney Experience app. Genie Plus is $50 per person per day and allows you skip the line access at over 40 attractions and experiences across all 4 parks. You can ride each attraction one time in the lightning lane, which is the physical queue you enter. There's also fancy rides, as I call them, which are individual attractions that are a per person per ride cost, not included with Genie Plus. You do not have to purchase Genie Plus to purchase a lightning lane for a fancy ride, and vice versa. When it comes to booking Genie Plus attractions, anyone can book Genie Plus, resort guest or not, starting at 7 a.m. You do not need to be in the park. As far as fancy rides go, resort guests can purchase them starting at 7 a.m. Non-resort guests can purchase them at the time the park opens. This morning, right at 7 a.m., I booked Frozen Ever After for a 9:25 to 10:25 return time, which I'm headed to now. But then at 8:30, when Epcot officially opened, I went to book Remy, and sadly, it was gone. It had sold out before non-resort guests even had the chance to get it. But I've not completely lost hope. It's not Rise of the Resistance after all, and I've seen it pop up a few times. However, I've been too slow to snag it, so I will be on the lookout all day long for Remy's Ratatouille Adventure, the little rat that could. Better not bring me down. Made it to Arendelle. Of course, by that I mean the Norway Pavilion. Here's the thing at 7 a.m. at Epcot. You're going to have to make a decision, and you're going to have to know which one you want as soon as possible. Frozen Ever After or Test Track. Both are incredibly popular. Both are already out of lightning lanes. Both already have an hour-long wait. Both break a lot. I decided to go for Frozen Ever After because it's far away, so I wanted to come get it over with and then go back to Future World and work my way through Future World. I also like Frozen Ever After better, and if I was not doing a Genie challenge, I would recommend doing the single rider line at Test Track and then lightning lane here. So I would recommend Frozen first if you have interest in riding Frozen, but if you don't, then go Test Track first. But make sure you go one right at 7 a.m. Frozen Ever After is incredibly popular, and it suffers from the same thing as Jungle Cruise, where it's a very low capacity and it takes a long time to load and unload the boats, which means the standby line is really long all day. Now that I've scanned in at the second touch point, I can go ahead and book another lightning lane. This is one thing that confuses people a lot. I think it's because people know that there's something called the 120-minute rule that exists. And people think you can only book one every 2 hours, but that's not the case. You can book another lightning lane either immediately after you've tapped in at both touch points at the first lightning lane, whenever your first lightning lane expired if you didn't go for some reason, or if it's been 120 minutes since you've booked one. And the reason the 120-minute rule exists is so that you don't book one at like 7 o'clock at night, at 10 o'clock in the morning, and then not use another one all day long. They want you to be able to use, Disney says 2 to 3 throughout the day. I think we've proven that's silliness. But you can book another one immediately as soon as you tap in. So I'm already looking for my next one. This one. Row 1. Thank you. Ooh, row 1 in the front. An excellent way to start this adventure. Frozen Ever After, check. Now headed back up to the front of the park where all the other Genie Plus lighting lanes are. The only other thing in World Showcase is the fancy ride, which is Remy, which I'm still refreshing for. And he keeps evading me. I went ahead and booked Spaceship Earth for right now because of the future world rides. Test Track will be my #1 problem. Soarin will be my #2 problem. There's gonna come a time where I have to sit and fiddle faddle for a long time to get Test Track, probably. And now's not that time. I don't want to waste. I fiddle faddled like thrice. And when a closer Soarin didn't pop up, I just went ahead and booked Spaceship Earth. Fiddle faddle is a word I used when talking about FastPass Plus, which just means to refresh the tip board. You pull down and it refreshes it, because Genie Plus, not fancy rides, Genie Plus is a first available system, so it shows you whatever time is next available for your group to ride that. But if you refresh it, the times change, and oftentimes the times become earlier. So I always say before you book something, if you're not loving what's available, fiddle faddle a few times, and new times might pop up. Sometimes even rides that have, quote, sold out for the day pop back up. It's a very helpful tip to grab what you need. Ooh, baby, I am glad to have a lightning lane. We're already up to 45 minutes here at Spaceship Earth. Thank you. EPCOT is a park that a lot of people don't show up till later, and then Future World is really crowded for a while because everybody comes in, they see Spaceship Earth, they see rides, and they're like, all right, let's do this, and then they spend the rest of the afternoon eating and drinking. So if you want to get a lot done at this park and not pay for Genie Plus, if you're a resort guest, I really recommend taking advantage of early theme park entry, which is what I did during my perfect day. Looks like the second touch point is covered up here, so I can go ahead and start the fiddle faddle for what's next. At this point, I'm just going to try and bop around Future World. World Discovery, Celebration, and Nature. Let's take a look. So Spaceship Earth, we already did that one. Test Track's still gone. Remy's still gone. Soarin's at 4:30. I'm going to refresh a few times to see. Oh, now it's at 6. See if I can get it any closer. But I think I'm going to save Soarin. That's Future Molly's problem. And I'm just going to book like the C's. Let me go that way first. We're going to go to the C's next, but I lied to you. Cue the gas pedals. Because I actually got stuck on Spaceship Earth for a while. I looked at Gutenberg for a while, and then I thought I could fiddle faddle. So what I did was I canceled my C's, because one of my least favorite things about the system is that you can't modify anything, so you have to cancel and rebook. And most of the time, if you see something good, like a soon time for something, by the time you cancel and rebook it, it's gone. So knowing the C's is pretty easy to get soon, I just went ahead and canceled it and then fiddle faddled for a while to see what I could get. I got by Test Track and Remy. Getting got is what I call it when you see something you like, but you hit it too slow, and then the Genie says, no, sorry, you can't have that thing. Or it changes the time because somebody else clicked it faster than you. So I got by the Genie a few times on Test Track and Remy's, but I didn't get got for Mission Space, which was showing times around 2 to 3, and then one popped up for 11:30, which is in about 20 minutes. So I'm headed that way. Plus, now I can get Mission Space over with and not want to barf later. I'll probably want to barf now. All right, it's my time to ride Mission Space, which currently has a 15-minute wait for the green side and a 55-minute wait for the orange side. The orange is the more intense version. One thing that's interesting about Mission Space is that when you book a lightning lane, you can pick which side you want to go to, but you can't use it on both because the system only classifies it as one attraction. So even though there's two different experiences, because you can't repeat attractions, you can only do one. So if you wanted to ride both, I would obviously tell you to use the lightning lane on the orange side or whichever side had the longer one. I don't want to throw up or feel like I'm throwing up, so even though it only is a 15-minute wait, I'm going green. Mission Space is the only Walt Disney World attraction to be equipped with barf bags. And the green side was literally invented because so many people were throwing up on the orange side. When this opened, there was no green and orange, there was just what is now orange. And people barfed a lot. And tap in again so I can look for something else. For starters, I rode Mission Space and it was making the wildest noises. Like it was like not supposed to noises. Like obviously everything's fine, but they needed a can of WD-40. And second of all, while I was standing on my number waiting for the pre-show to start, I was obviously fiddle-faddling. And first thing happened is Remy popped up. Got Remy. Waiting for the pre-show to start. A couple times popped up, and we got it. One down. So I snagged a Remy for $120. So I was very excited about that. And then I went back to the tip board, and Test Track was available for $130. Test Track also to show them. Now I have both Test Track and Remy in less than 2 hours. What? So now, since I have about an hour and a half till Remy, I have that one first before Test Track. I'm gonna work my way over to World Showcase. I'm gonna do what I would recommend any of you do, which is go enjoy yourself at Epcot. I actually have to film some for another video, so I'm gonna go do that. I'm gonna get something to eat, and then I'm gonna go see that little not a mouse. I'm gonna go see that little rat buddy that I love and I would never disparage, that rat. And then we'll head back to Future World to knock out the rest of these bad boys. So at this point, my biggest problem is Soarin. Let's do a little wait time check. It is 11:53. There's a 100-minute wait at Remy's Ratatouille Adventure, only a 45-minute wait over at Soarin, and a 7:25 Genie Plus, so that one might cause me some issues. Honestly, 45 isn't terrible, so you may want to just go wait in that. 75 at Test Track. 85 at Frozen Ever After, no Genie. Glad we did that. 30 at Figment. 30 at Living with the Land. 75 at Mission Space. Yikes, that's probably orange though. Keep that in mind when you look at it. It only shows you the longer wait. 30 at the Seas with Nemo and Friends. 45 at Spaceship Earth. 20 at Turtle Talk. So it's a very busy day, as you can see by the fact that things like Nemo and the Seas have 30-minute waits. Most people don't want to do all the rides at Epcot. Most people come into Epcot in the evening time, or they hop in here in the afternoon because they want to eat, they want to drink, they want to enjoy a festival. If you are someone that wants to do a lot of the rides, I don't think you need Genie Plus in this park necessarily, especially if you're a resort guest and you can come in for that early theme park entry. I did that on my perfect day Epcot, which we can link for you. I came in as a resort guest. I bought Remy for the afternoon when I predicted I'd be over in World Showcase. And then I came in as a resort guest And for that early theme park entry, I got through Frozen and Soarin' and then ran to Test Track right after. And I got all 3 of those done within the first hour or so of being in the park. Then you can enjoy some of those smaller rides for a little bit and then spend the rest of your afternoon over in World Showcase. So that's a better plan, I think, for this park. I'm going to end up going back and forth a little bit just because of the times I happen to pull for Remy and for Test Track. And since most of the rides that I need to do today are in Future World, but that would be my plan. I would get here early, knock out as much as you'd like to do in Future World, World Discovery, World Nature, World Celebration. I'm calling it Future World. You can't stop me. And then go over to World Showcase and just luxuriate for your afternoon. Ooh, should I stop and get a magic shot? I think so. It seems like it's been mere moments since I was speaking about Remy's Ratatouille adventure and securing that lightning lane. Because thanks to the magic of movie editing, it has been only a mere moments. But now it is time to head on EPCOT's newest attraction. This expansion opened officially on October 1st last year for the 50th anniversary. I think this attraction's very cute. I think this restaurant is delish. I'm a big fan. And I spent my time before Remy doing what I'd recommend any other guest to do. I explored some of the exhibits in World Showcase. I looked in some of the shops, caught a little performers, just enjoyed being in the park, you know? Grab yourself a treat. Cheers. And a real treat is the fact that we don't have to wait in an 80-minute line to ride Remy. Remy's Ratatouille Adventure, as a reminder, is a fancy ride, which once again, resort guests can book at 7 a.m. Non-resort guests can book at the time the park opens. You do not need to be in the park in order to book it. Again, it was gone at 8:30, which is what time the park officially opens, but I kept checking back and eventually I was able to snag one. Unlike Genie Plus attractions, fancy rides, you do get to select what time you would like to ride. However, if you're not booking it right at 7 a.m. with the resort guests, there is likely going to be less of an option for you. As a non-resort guest, if you see it come available, you should just snag it whatever time you can. A question we get a lot is, can you book a fancy ride for a park that you're not starting in? Let's say you are starting in Hollywood Studios and hopping over to EPCOT. Can you book Remy? Absolutely you can. The system will default not let you book it before 2 p.m., which is when park hopping starts, but you can book up to 2 fancy rides per person per day in any park number that you'd like. Currently, Remy cost me $9, which I know adds up quite a bit when you have multiple people, but it's an 80-minute wait. It was 100 minutes not too long ago. I think this attraction is super cute. It's the trackless vehicles like on Rise of Resistance or Mickey and Minnie's Runaway Railway. It's in 3D, but it doesn't have a height requirement. I think this park needed more rides, especially more family rides in World Showcase, and I think this is very, very cute. I did a whole video on this when it opened. You can check out, we interviewed some of the Imagineers, showing you some of the Easter eggs and cool details. So I'd recommend checking that out if you're interested in learning more about this one. Ratatouille adventure done. It's a very cute attraction, and I can already hear people yelling because I say I don't like simulators, and I don't, and I wish there were animatronics in that ride, of course, but there's big practical sets, there's effects like feeling heat and feeling water. I love the water part, but that makes it more than just like sitting in a simulator, you know? It's a lot more interactive than that. Here's what I think the real problem is. Here's why I think people don't actually like this attraction that much. I think Disney, not their fault, but I think these trackless set rides came out in the wrong order. I think Remy should have been first, then Mickey and Minnie's Runaway Railway, and then Rise of the Resistance. But they started with Rise of the Resistance with the trackless technology here, and it's like you can't start at the top. But if they had started with Remy and everyone would have been like, whoa, trackless rats, this is amazing, and practical sets, and an interactive screen, okay. And then it would have been like Mickey and Minnie's, whoa, it's even better now, look at this projection mapping. And then it would have been Rise, which is Rise. That's my theory anyway. I think that ride's cute, I think it's fun, I think it's worth the cost if you've never been on it. I don't know that I'd want to stand in a 80 or 100 minute line for it. I don't want to stand in an 80 or 100 minute line for anything, if I'm being honest. But this one does get very long line. So your best bet, if you're not going to pay for it, is as a resort guest, come ride this first thing. Or if you're a deluxe resort guest, Remy's is open as part of extended evening hours, which is another great way to ride things. But again, you have to be staying at a deluxe resort. Okay, back to Future World we go. We only have Future World attractions left. And of course, we're in our test track window, so we're going to do that first and then head over to the other half of Future World, World Nature. Ugh, I can't get it. It'll get in my brain. Maybe by Epcot's 40th, I'll call the neighborhoods their right name. As we're headed to test track, let's do like a 1:49 check-in with Waits and Genie. You know, the classic 1:49 check-in. Remy's Ratatouille Adventure, 80 minutes, lightning lane gone. This is, of course, without me doing any fiddle paddling. Soarin' Around the World, 40 minutes, lightning lane gone. I have a new nemesis. Test track, 55 minutes, no lightning lane. Frozen Ever After, 85 minutes, no lightning lane. Figment, 10-minute wait, could get a lightning lane in the next 15 minutes. Living with the Land, 10-minute wait, could get a lightning lane within the next 25 minutes. Mission Space, 30-minute wait, 6:35 for Genie. Nemo, 20-minute wait, could get a lightning lane for right now. Spaceship Earth, 25-minute wait, could get a lightning lane in 2 hours. And Turtle Talk, 20-minute wait, could get a lightning lane right now. So, not that different than what I predicted. This park is interesting because it suffers a little bit from the same thing as Animal Kingdom, in that there's not a ton of attractions on Genie Plus, the way there are like at Magic Kingdom. But there's a handful that everybody wants. So those go quickly, and then the other half are available like right this moment. If you are purchasing Genie Plus for this park, I'd recommend prioritizing Frozen, Soarin', and Test Track. Frozen Ever After used to be a fancy ride, but for at least through the beginning of August, Disney put one fancy ride into the Genie Plus category. Now it's Frozen here, so that one's, as you saw, really popular. Test Track, really popular. And then Soarin' would be next. Then things like Spaceship Earth and Mission Space, and then the rest of the attractions. So the best way to use it is to book that, one that's a couple hours out, do some of these smaller filler rides, and so on and so forth. This park is a little hard because it's so big that it's not like you want to book Soarin' in a few hours and then go have lunch in France and then walk all the way back to Soarin'. Like, it could be a lot of walking in this park, even more than the other parks. So ideally, you can knock everything out ride-wise in the beginning of the day and then spend the rest of your day enjoying World Showcase. That's my Epcot MO anyway. Test Track has a 60-minute wait right now. Hello. Is there another touch point inside? There is. Okay, great. I like to ask because sometimes they have the second touch point turned off, and that means I could start fiddle faddling right now for another attraction, but Test Track is incredibly popular. I'm eager to see what happens to Test Track's popularity when Guardians of the Galaxy officially opens. No, we don't have any info on what that category will be. My guess is it will be either virtual boarding group or it will be a fancy ride or both. I have no idea, but I'll let you know as soon as possible, and I'll have a whole video about that ride coming. But Test Track's definitely very popular here as far as a thrill ride goes. It's not my favorite ride, and if I was going to ride it without Genie Plus, I would absolutely recommend using Single Rider, which is this line right here. Single Rider is available at certain attractions, and it just adds you in with even numbered parties to fill in the spots. So, and I say even numbers here because you sit in rows of 3. Especially like Rock and Roller Coaster, you sit in rows of 2. Single Rider will often be faster at this ride specifically than the standby line, though you are going to be split up from your party. So, and you don't get the full design experience if that matters to you. Just one. Alright, I've tapped in twice, which means I can start fiddle faddling. My dream would be to get Soarin soon, but I'm just going to head to that side of the park. Soarin's just not popping up at all. But I'm not going to book it. Oh, 6:15. We could do better, I think. That's like 4 hours away. I'd rather ride other stuff and then deal with Soarin in a little bit. That's not the best advice, but that's the best advice for this challenge. So I had pinned everything I need left, but I'm gonna pin just Soarin, which is now 5:15. Not terrible, but I want it closer for this. The way you can change what you're, oh, and it's gone again. The way you can change what you're looking for is you're gonna wanna set up your day, and then once you can do your top picks, and once you've done that, you can edit them. So I'm going to take out the Disney Pixar Short Film Festival, knowing I can get that basically whenever I need. I'm going to keep Figment in because that one's showing the furthest out besides Soarin. I'm going to take off Living with the Land and the Seas and Turtle Talk. So now I'm just looking at Figment and Soarin. You can see Figment's at 3:45, which is almost 2 hours away, and Soarin's at 5:15, which is over 3 hours away. So I'm going to try and get one of these, and if I can't get it before I ride Test Track, then I will just book like the Pixar Short Film Festival or the Seas or something that has a close time. This is what you miss out on if you do Single Rider on this attraction, is you don't get this full experience. You can pick from a selection of like a few different cars, but you don't get to go from the ground up. I'm going to do a Slytherin car. I think we should do Flames because I'm going so fast. There's my car. Isn't she beautiful? Track, check. And while after designing my car and waiting to board the physical car, I fiddle-faddled for a few more moments and was able to pull a Journey into Imagination with Figment for right now. It was showing 2:40, which is in like 20 or so minutes from now, so I should have just booked that, but I fiddle-faddled to move it 15 minutes forward. By the way to Journey into Imagination with Figment right now is 10 minutes. Should you fiddle-faddle for 5 minutes for a ride that only has a 10-minute wait? No. No. Listen to me. No. Do as I say, not as I do. A lot of people are like, you're on your phone so much when you do these challenges. Yeah, I'm doing the most extreme version of using this service possible in a fun way to share tips and tricks and help you and provide some guidance on this very confusing system. But I never recommend wasting all day on your phone. Fiddle-faddle a few times. Some rides it's going to take more than others. At Hollywood Studios it might take a little more effort. But just book the 2:40 Figment. Slowly walk on over there. No need to fiddle-faddle 5 minutes for a 10-minute wait. Better yet, don't book Figment. Book the 6 o'clock Soarin' and then just go ride Figment. That's a big complaint people have about this system, is that they're presuming they're going to be on their phone a lot more than with FastPass Plus. I don't personally feel that way because I was also fiddle-faddling a lot with FastPass Plus. If you were the kind of person who was booking your 3 FastPass Pluses 30 to 60 days out and then just using those 3 and that was your day, then yeah, you're on your phone a little bit more on your park day since you're not doing it in advance. But if you were like me, and as soon as you tapped into number 3, you were getting other fast passes, it's the same thing. I don't really feel like I'm on my phone much more than I was with FastPass because after I used my initial 3, I was booking as many as I could one at a time. And that's all this is, booking them one at a time. And if you are the kind of person that only wanted to use your 3 that you booked a while ago, you can book 3 no problem. You can book 3 in any park without even thinking about it. Maybe not the 3 most popular rides in each park, but you could get 3 decent ones. But for me, if I'm trying to ride as much as possible and I'm paying the money, I'm going to get my money's worth out of the system. And that doesn't mean every single attraction. Like I said, a lot of these attractions have short waits. You could just go walk on. But for me, if I spent $15 and I skipped 3 to 5 hour-long plus waits, that's worth the cost to me. Journey into Imagination with Figment can get a longer line. I saw it 30 minutes earlier today, kind of mid-morning, which is peak Future World time, because as people come in, they ride all the rides and go to World Showcase. So if you get here early or you come in late, this usually doesn't have a wait. Definitely don't need to use a lightning lane here. And it will drop. So if you see it 30 minutes and you really want to ride it, just wait a little bit. I promise it'll drop. Figment, so I didn't fiddle faddle for too long and went ahead and just booked the Disney and Pixar Short Film Festival since it's right next door. This little short film festival, definitely don't need a lightning lane for. It's usually just however long is posted on outside is how long it is till the next show starts. It's 3 Disney and or Pixar shorts, but they're in 3D and they have like some effects with them as well. And I like it because it's a great place to sit down and get some air conditioning. If you've never seen it, it's cute. But you don't need a lightning lane at all.
The first movies we made at Pixar were also shorts. They have been a great training ground for us. It's amazing how much story you can tell in a short film.
Disney Pixar Short Film Festival, check. I do think it's really cute. I love the first one, which is Get a Horse, which was an old black and white Mickey cartoon that they animated with color, and the change between the computer animation and the hand-drawn black and white is so cool how interwoven it is, and they're still using Walt Disney's voice as Mickey, and that always kind of gets me in the feels. The thing I wish is that they've been showing these 3 shorts for a long time. I wish they would mix it up, and that would be more of a lure to go to the show, but it's a great thing to do. Again, 20 minutes in the air conditioning, can't beat that. All right, I have 4 things left, 2 in the seas, 2 in the land, so all right around here. Of course, the hardest one is Soarin. It's mostly showing us gone, though I did get it to pop up around 8, which is too late. I'm going to try and do the other ones first if that's all it's going to give me. And I went ahead and booked Turtle Talk with Crush, because that's the next farthest out one. And so we're going to go to the Seas Pavilion next. Now, obviously, it makes more sense to ride the seas first than to go in the sea base where the ride exits first. But Turtle Talk was getting further and further out, and the seas is still right now. So if you had Genie Plus, I would have recommended booking Turtle Talk, and then it's a 5-minute walk on to get on the ride. But we're going to go to Turtle Talk first and then ride the ride. Or you know what? Maybe Soarin will show up. Who knows? I think this show is so cute. And you usually don't need a lightning lane here. It's basically just the next show. Ooh, the timing is great because the show is open. But normally you just come in here, wait, there's some exhibits in here, and you can see the next show. If you've got little ones, definitely recommend having them have a question in their head ready that they might want to ask Crush, because he talks to you in real time, and there's a Q&A part, especially for little kids.
Whoa, dude, check it out, man! Double barrel 360, totally tubular. What was that? Nemo, where's Nemo? Where'd he go? Wow, you're good at this.
Soarin still flirting with being gone or later in the day. So I'm gonna go ahead and knock out the seas while I'm still here. Oh, I love this ride. I love the mine seagulls. It's a walk-on. It's a 5-minute wait. Definitely don't need to be using a lightning lane right now. Basically, at this point in the afternoon, most of the Future World rides don't have long lines. Of course, Test Track, Soarin, they do. But this, Living with the Land, Figment, Spaceship Earth even, don't have that long of lines. So if you're coming to EPCOT later in the day, like most people do, you probably don't need to worry about trying to strategize how to get on these rides. Go to your home, little otter. Did you guys know otters are really mean? Even though they're really cute, they are terrible animals. Look it up. Some of the stuff they do is not for children. I can't even talk about it on this program. Anyway, the seas. Complete. I think that ride is so cute. Give me a Disney dark ride. I want it. Let's do a 4 p.m. wait time check as we head to the land. 20 minutes at Living with the Land can get a lightning lane in 4 minutes. So I haven't booked it yet, just in case Soarin pops up. And I'm obviously booking Living with the Land next. Soarin 40 minutes, not that long. No lightning lanes. Frozen, 95 minutes, no lighting lanes. Journey into Imagination, 15 minutes, 5:15. Mission Space, 45 minutes, no lightning lanes. Remy, 115 minutes, no lightning lanes. Nemo, 5-minute lightning lane for right now. Spaceship Earth, 25-minute lightning lane for 6. Test Track, 65 minutes, no lightning lanes. Turtle Talk, lightning lanes for in about 20 minutes. So as you can see, it's the same 4-ish rides causing problems all day. So if you want to do Test Track, Remy, Frozen Ever After, and Soarin, those are the ones you really need to think about. Mission Space a little bit as well, and I would say Spaceship Earth right after that. But the big 3 that are going to cause problems at this park are Remy's Ratatouille Adventure, Test Track, and Frozen Ever After. Soarin to Tower, you're annoying me. But it's only a 35-minute wait. Just go wait in the line. I'm just going to go ahead and book the land, Living with the Land, and then we'll deal with Soarin after. It's only a 15-minute wait, so like a lot of these rides, you don't need to worry about a lightning lane. It's a nice to have, but not a need to have here. And I'm going to fiddle-faddle until I get in my boat. Otherwise, if I don't get Soarin, I'm just going to sit in the land for a minute. Well, just one. Yeah, thank you. Just sit in the land for a little bit, maybe grab something cool to drink, and fiddle-faddle to get, at this point, any time for Soarin. With the land done, all I have left is Soarin' Around the World, which only has a 30-minute wait. Obviously, I would advise just go get in the 30-minute line and you can do a walk on there at this point, but that is not what this is about. So I'm gonna go get something to drink at Sunshine Seasons, this quick service, and fiddle faddle for a few minutes, and hope Soarin' comes back. Just sit in the land for a little bit, maybe grab something cool to drink, something cool to drink, cool to drink, cool to drink. Alright, after sitting here for about 15 minutes, I finally got one at 5:10. It's 4:52 right now. You can usually tap in 5 minutes early, so there you go. I wasn't exclusively looking for this, I was mostly looking for this, but I also was answering some Slack questions and checking my email and stuff, because I sometimes get sick of looking at that screen. Do I think you should fiddle faddle for 15 minutes for a ride that's a 30-minute wait? No, I do not, but it just goes to show you can pull different things. There were a few that popped up for like 8 p.m., but I didn't want to sit around for that long, or I wanted to see if I could get one closer, and I was able to. So yeah, now I'm going to do a couple more things that I need to for work while I have a few more minutes, and then we're going to go ride Soarin'. All right, let's go ride everyone's mom's favorite ride. Soarin' now has a 50-minute wait, so I literally could have waited in the line and ridden it in the time that it took me to fiddle faddle to get it, and then wait for the few minutes for it to come up. So as always, do as I say, not as I do, and just jump in that 30-minute line if you see it. Also want to address one of the most popular questions we get on Genie videos and content, and that's, does party size matter? And I say this all the time, no it does not, up to 10. The system will allow you to add up to 12 people to plan your day with, but I've confirmed with Disney cast members that it has a few issues when it's over 10. So I've reformed my saying that it works the same for up to 1 to 10. When you're looking at the tip board, it's next available, and you can select it no matter if you're just one person or you've got 10 people. You're gonna see the same things. We did an experiment in Hollywood Studios where we had a group of 4 of us, and we were still able, using fiddle faddling and smart planning, we were still able to pull all the big rides there as a party of 4. So these videos, again, are to show you how to use the system, hopefully help explain this very complicated and confusing system, and help you get your money's worth should you choose to purchase Genie. As a friendly reminder, the Lightning Lane is not a walk-on guarantee, it's just expedited. At certain attractions like this one, you might still wait a little bit. This one is because of how they load. It loads 10, 20, 30, 90 people at a time in a big chunk, and then you stand there for a few minutes. And then it loads 90 people at a big chunk, et cetera, et cetera. So you're just gonna wait a lot less, which was 50 minutes. I waited like 5 minutes to get right here. Done, check, we are done. 2 things. I ride rides professionally, and that is the only ride that people clap when it's done every single time at Walt Disney World. It's not Flight of Passage, it's not Rise of Resistance, it is Soarin' that people clap at every time when it's over. And 2, do you think they're gonna update the final scene for the 40th? Because that's not what EPCOT looks like anymore. They haven't said anything, so I doubt it, but I'd be down for a new vision. You know, we've been around the world. There's more things in the world. Let's do Around the World Volume 2. Let's do a final wait time check as I head back towards the front of the park. Soarin, 45 minutes, no Genie left. Frozen, 75 minutes, no Genie left. About an hour and 20 minutes away for Figment, but it's only a 10-minute wait. Times right now and 5-minute wait at Living with the Land. 60-minute ship mission Space Road. That's likely orange, and green could possibly be less. Nothing left. 60 down at Remy's Ratatouille Adventure. That's the lowest I've seen it in a long time. Nothing left. Spaceship Earth, 20 minutes. You could get one in about 50 minutes. Test track down to 65. Nothing left. Well, friends, we did it. It started out stressful, started out walking in the worst shape of any of these challenges, even more so than Hollywood Studios and Magic Kingdom, but we did it in record time, able to pull all of the lightning lanes here at EPCOT. Overall, I don't feel like you need to use Genie Plus here at EPCOT. I feel like as long as you make a plan to get some of those big heavy hitters done, you can ride everything you'd like to here without too long a wait. In my perfect day video, once again, I bought Remy, which I do think is a fair choice. If you are wanting to ride Remy's Ratatouille Adventure, I would buy Remy and then I would rope drop as a resort guest, test track Frozen, and then you can usually pick up Soarin at not too long of a wait later. As always, fiddle faddling is my best piece of advice when it comes to Genie Plus. I know it can be frustrating that you have to be on your phone and that you have to sit there and refresh the screen a few times, but that is the best way to get the best outcome. If you do choose to use Genie Plus here at EPCOT, make sure at 7 a.m. you have decided whether you are going to go for Frozen Ever After or Test Track. Those are definitely the most popular two on the Genie Plus side. Also, you should pull the trigger pretty quickly on Remy's Ratatouille Adventure. If you're a resort guest, go ahead and book it at 7 a.m. If you're not a resort guest, look at when the park opens. Otherwise, keep looking, keep checking back, and jump on it as soon as you can. I've done this video now in all 4 parks. We've conquered every single lightning lane, so make sure you go follow. I think the service can be very frustrating at times. It's certainly confusing, which is my least favorite thing about it, but hopefully these videos have helped. Go check out the ones in Hollywood Studios and Magic Kingdom. Thank you so much for watching. It's been magical. Now go watch Perfect Day in EPCOT.